for being able to be here to watch it. It's kind of fun hanging out with you guys right now when you're not trying to get me fired or critiquing me too much or any of that. But, I really appreciate Sonny. I've known Sonny for 24 years and, we think a lot alike, and have had a good relationship over 2.5 decades or whatever. So I certainly appreciate him and the TCU administration for letting me be here. It's thrilling for me to be here. Have been away from it for 8 months, and it's good to be back to, looking at football and watching football, studying football. This has always been kind of a special place. I know that I've been here for off and on for 20 years and saw where TCU was 20 years ago and what we're currently looking at right now. You're, in my opinion, looking at one of the premier teams in the Big 12, with resources, with players, with coaches, with schemes, with facilities, with fan support. I've seen it all up close and personal, and so it's cool to be intimate with that, be able to evaluate. And TCU's got a chance. They're going to have a chance every year. I've been very impressed with Sonny and his CEO skills, with what Kendall's doing offensively, what Andy's doing defensively. Schemes are there, coaches are there, players are there, so it's going to be a fun season to watch.
Your task to help the defense, how different is that for you?
Well, yeah, it's clearly different, and when I made this decision to come here, first and foremost wanted to be around good people, and I really feel like I'm around good people here, not only here in Fort Worth, but TCU and this coaching staff. Being a head coach for 13 years, obviously I kind of had my hands in defense, but was never in there full time. I was always on offense full time, as everybody knows. It's given me a different perspective on football. I'm learning a lot every day, to how they think, to how they prepare, to what they're telling the defense from, just alignments and clearly what assignments are and how they teach and how they attack offenses has been cool, and so my role is to listen to how they work defensively. That's more for me than it is for anything. They're going to have some questions on what's the offense doing here, what's the offense doing there, and if asked, I will give my opinion to the coaches, which has been fun, which has been cool, which has been informative and educational for me. Once we get closer to the season, it's going to be about me studying offenses, to try to help our defensive staff get prepared to be able to defend offenses, and so I'll be able to study 12 offenses moving forward throughout the course of the year. I'm studying TCU's offense a little bit right now, but then it's going to be opponent offenses to where I can hopefully help, and that's why I'm here, just to kind of help any way I can.
You've been in charge for a long time. Is it hard to be in the role at all where you're not necessarily everybody's looking at you for the final say? You're more of
It's a lot less stressful. It's a lot less stressful, and I'm not even going to pretend to dictate what the future is going to be or predict what the future is going to be. I don't know. I don't care. I'm interested in trying to help TCU in this fall and to kind of see how I feel, and so it's less stressful now. I'm in better shape. I look better, feel better. It's a stressful job now. I mean, we all know that. 13 years as the head guy and coordinator for 5 years or whatever it is prior to that. It's been good for me to take a deep breath. I ain't gonna lie to you, and it's been good for me and it's been good for my family.
Do you think about taking a year off?
I always maintained wanting to be a part of a team in the fall. Okay, so I took many trips, vacation trips and educational trips. I went to 8 or 10 different universities in the spring. Kind of got a feel for what's out there, and this is where I felt like I would be, not only the most happy, but the most helpful, and we'll be able to learn a lot too, be able to learn from Sonny and be able to learn from Andy and be around good people as well. So I wasn't going to jump back into it. I wanted to take the 8 months, but I also wanted to be somewhere August 1st where I can be a part of a team, and be able to have access to video and do what I can to help.
What was that process like? Did somebody call you up? Did you reach out first? How did you end up choosing TCU?
Just just relationships more than anything. I mean, it was as simple as just picking up the phone and calling. I was here in spring for a couple of days and had a good feel for it. And I thought it was brilliant when Sonny and Ryan Dorchester, who obviously was my chief of staff for the last 8 years, is here at TCU now. He does a great job. That relationship helped as well. But I thought it was brilliant on Sonny's part to, putting an offensive guy in a defensive room, because you don't make anybody nervous, and then putting a defensive guy with Coach Graham into an offense and give that perspective of it. These staffs are so much bigger than they were in the past, and that's just another opportunity. I tell you, the hardest thing in coaching is, when the game's over on Saturday, turning that page. That is challenging. Back in the day, I didn't have any help. I'd get a depth chart on Sunday with a stack of VHS game videos, and you had to kind of figure it out. And it took you days to figure out what their personnel is and what their schemes are and all that. So, having advanced scouting now and extra personnel, extra coaches on the field, it's going to allow you to turn the page quicker and to be more prepared going into the next week.
We talked to Andy yesterday. He seems like he's really excited to work with you. What's been your early impression of working with him?
He's brilliant now. Just defensively, he's very intense. Andy's a part of the same agency that I am, so I'd spent a couple of other opportunities with him, not football wise, but socially. And we kind of hit it off when it comes to that type of people that we are. And never really watched him coach. I know the history of it with the DC when he was at Boise and when he was at Oregon, and then had success as a head coach at Boise State as well. He's a very intense, very intelligent defensive football mind. And I learn a lot from him every day. And so, we're still kind of trying to feel out the process of what I need to be asked and what I need to be, what I need to do. We're still kind of trying to figure that out because these roles really haven't existed in the past, So I'm excited to see where it goes, but I've been very impressed with him, just his knowledge defensively, schematically, technically, and then what kind of a motivator and encourager he is, as well as a leader as well.
What has impressed you the most about TCU's personnel so far since you've been player-wise?
Well, the depth is better than what I'm used to. The depth is better. The bodies are better. We've had some wars with TCU in the past. It was more at West Virginia than it was at Houston last year. TCU whipped us. But just good players. I've been impressed with their football knowledge, with their physicality. They preach physicality nonstop here, toughness nonstop here, discipline nonstop here, and that's what I see with these guys. So talent wise, TCU is going to be able to compete.
I'm sure you've probably heard this, and you might even said it at some point. When coaches leave jobs, especially coaches who've been there for a long time, made enough money, fans immediately will say, "Why'd they just retire? They made enough money, go fish, go play golf." I'm not assuming you probably could have. What is preventing a guy like you from saying, "Screw it, I'm done, I'm just going to be retired"?
It's called an offset. It's called a contract. I have obligation to seek employment, which I have. I have an obligation to seek employment, which I'm currently employed, and I'm working, and I'm going to continue to do that for the next 4 months. I could have chose to do it full time, and I chose not to. I'm happy doing what I'm doing right now. I'm excited about it. I'm thrilled. I mean, I kind of come and go as I want, which is important. But I can be around it as much as I want to, and I'm spending a lot of time with football right now. Currently, I'm spending a lot of time watching video and evaluating and trying to learn. So where it goes in December or January of 25, I have no clue.
Do you want to be a head coach again?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's no doors that are shut, but it's there's just a lot going on. I mean, to be a head coach at the level that I want to be a head coach at there's not many of those jobs. Those jobs are hard, and those are primarily CEO type jobs, so, and Coach Graham's going to say the same thing when he comes in here. I mean, we're ball coaches. I mean, we coach. And so we want to be around it. Do I have to be here? No, I could be doing something else. temporarily, but I want to be around football and I want to coach ball. So do I want to go be OC? Do I want to go be a position guy at some, maybe. Do I want to jump in and go be a head coach again? Maybe. I don't know. It's all about the opportunities, and my focus is to try to help TCU win. When TCU wins this fall, that's going to be good for everybody.
So how much will you be around in the season? You know yet?
I don't know yet. It's I don't know. And Sonny's like, he's like, we'll just figure it out. If you want to be around more, be around more. If you want to be around less, be around less. I can work from my home on my laptop and study the next opponent and send in stuff if that's what I choose to do. I don't know. I kind of like being around. I'm not going to be. I have no game day responsibilities. So once I help, then I'm going to remove myself and get ready for the next one. And so what that means on Saturday, I'm going to do something that I haven't done in 32 years. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to tailgate. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy it.
Save you a seat, Coach.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, if y'all got any, advice on which tailgates I need to go to, then I will do that. I'll be somewhere. I'll be somewhere, but we don't know. I mean, this is a fluid deal, which is what's cool about it. I mean, it's a consulting job. I consult and then I leave, and so we're all just trying to figure this out. But at the end of the day, it's whatever Sonny needs and whatever Andy needs. And I think we got a plan to be able to make this a successful relationship.
So the industry of college football has changed tremendously over the last several years. How have all of those changes, NIL, transfer portal, rev share coming down the pipe, how does those change the pressure points on a head coach and the responsibility for the head coach?
It's changed it drastically. I mean, there's head coaches leaving head coach college jobs to go be coordinators. I mean, that happened last year in several different spots, and there's a reason for that because, guys that obsess over just coaching ball, if you're a head coach, you're getting tugged in so many different directions. And Sonny does a great job of managing that. He does a really, really, really good job of managing that. I don't know that I did as well as I could have, should have. Clearly didn't work, but you get tugged in a lot of different directions, and there's a lot of coaches that just say, I want to coach. That's why we all got into this thing 32 years ago. I did to coach, and then you get put in that situation. You got to kind of change how you do things. I had to change how I did things. And it's not always what I wanted to change,
We'll go 2 more questions.
You have an odd, really kind of cool anecdote with this school. I'm sure you probably remember it. It lives on a viral thing when you give a high five to a TCU quarterback after a run.
Boykin, yeah.
I don't know if you addressed it. What prompted you to do that?
Oh, it was very instinctual. Yeah, I caught a lot of crap for that up in West Virginia too. They weren't as happy as the TCU people were. It didn't make me coach any different, I can assure you to that. I was just on the sidelines marveling at how he made every one of our guys miss, and then 2 or 3 of them twice on one play. I was like, I've never seen that before. And then all of a sudden, like, he's just literally in my face staring at me. And so I just gave him 5, and it was funny. I was at one of the spring practices out here, like spring practice number 4, and he came up to me, and I was on the sidelines. It was really legitimately in that same spot. And he just came up to me and was staring at me, and I gave him another 5 right there. He was a great player. We had some wars, man. TCU got the best of us that night. But over the course of 7 years or whatever it was, we had some pretty good battles. So it was fun.
Wasn't there a point where you almost came here with Gary? Is there not a point where you?
No. I mean, I've known Gary for a long time. He's a friend of mine, and did a great job here. But there was never employment talks. As far as I know, I had a job. I don't remember. This is the first time in my career that I haven't had one, so I didn't need one.
I thought it maybe had been when you were at
Not that I'm aware.
Well, the last one.
You had something on your resume that was really weird at the time. You went from a Power 5 school to an AAC job. Everybody outside looked, oh, that's kind of odd. That's kind of weird. I'm gonna ask you to put on your hindsight glasses. Was it the right move for your career?
What's funny is I did it twice. Okay, so in this profession, you got to take some gambles, and when Sonny and I were at Tech, we were there together for 6 years, and he had to leave to advance his career. He left to go to Arizona to advance his career. I stayed for 2 more years, and then I had to leave to go to Houston. Kevin Sumlin just got the Houston job and offered me the OC job. I took a pay cut, and I went to Houston. So same reason why Sonny went to Arizona. I mean, we're co-offensive coordinators at Tech, but we all know that we weren't calling the plays. That belonged to Mr. Mike Leach. But you had to get away to grow, and so I did that. And 2 years later, I'm at Oklahoma State, and 3 years later, I'm head coach at West Virginia. So the gamble paid off. I did it again 6 years ago. When I was at West Virginia in the Big 12, left to go to Houston. I had reasons why I did that. I'd been at West Virginia for 8 years and was very successful. But there was a couple of things that I was concerned about that made me do that. I do not regret that. You look at what happened at Houston. I mean, we were 4-8 last year, first year in the Big 12. I guess that's not good enough, but a couple years prior to that in the American, which is why I went there. I mean, we won 20 games in 2 years and back-to-back bowl games, and almost beat Cincinnati when they were in the CFP. So we had some success, and I do not regret that move either.